Nelson Mandela, Forging Justice in the Crucible of Courage by Ruben White. In a world adrift, where the compass of clarity spins wildly amidst the storms of discord, and the beacon of order flickers fainter with each passing day, a yearning rises within the hearts of many for a guiding light, a voice of reason, a leader whose moral compass points true. It is in such times, when the cacophony of confusion threatens to drown out the whispers of justice, that we must look to the enduring legacies of those who navigated their own eras of profound darkness with unwavering courage and an unyielding commitment to a brighter dawn. The deepest wellspring of human strength lies not in the absence of fear, but in the resolute act of moving forward despite its chilling embrace, for it is in that courageous stride that the chains of injustice are truly broken. This is the story of a man whose life became synonymous with that courageous stride, Nelson Mandela. While his name resonates globally as an icon of peace and reconciliation, the intricate tapestry of his journey, woven with threads of fierce defiance, quiet contemplation, and profound personal sacrifice, holds layers of insight that extend far beyond the well-trodden narratives. To truly understand his monumental impact, we must delve deeper into the less illuminated corners of his life, exploring the nuances of his character, the strategic brilliance that underpinned his activism, and the personal battles waged in the long shadows of imprisonment. Born on July 18, 1918, in the small village of Mvizo in the Eastern Cape of South Africa, Mandela's early life offered few hints of the global statesman he would become. 1 His father, Gadla Henry Mfakeni-Iswa, was a chief and a member of the Tembo royal family, a lineage that instilled in young Rolihlahla a sense of inherent dignity and a connection to the traditions and grievances of his people. 2 His mother, Nosekeni Fanny, was a Methodist, and it was at the local missionary school that he received his English name, Nelson. This intersection of traditional Xhosa culture and Western education would shape his worldview, providing him with both a deep understanding of his heritage and the tools to navigate the complexities of a rapidly changing South Africa. One aspect of Mandela's early life that often goes unmentioned is his rebellious spirit, which manifested long before his political awakening. At the age of 16, he was expelled from the Fort Hare University College for participating in a student protest against the institution's policies. 3 This early act of defiance, though seemingly minor, foreshadowed his lifelong refusal to submit to unjust authority. It was a formative experience that solidified his understanding of the power of collective action and the necessity of challenging oppressive systems. His move to Johannesburg in the 1940s marked a pivotal point in his life. Immersed in the stark realities of racial segregation and discrimination under the burgeoning apartheid regime, Mandela's political consciousness deepened. He found work as a mine security officer and later articled at a white-owned law firm, witnessing firsthand the systemic injustices that permeated every facet of Black South African life. 4 This exposure fueled his involvement in the African National Congress, ANC, initially a moderate organization advocating for peaceful change. What many might not fully appreciate is Mandela's intellectual rigor. He pursued his law studies diligently, eventually establishing the first black-owned law firm in South Africa with Oliver Tambo. 5 This legal background proved invaluable in his later activism, providing him with a deep understanding of the legal framework of apartheid and the strategies needed to dismantle it. He was not merely a charismatic leader, he was a sharp legal mind who understood the intricacies of the system he was fighting against. 6 As the apartheid regime intensified its grip, marked by increasingly draconian laws and violent repression, Mandela's belief in non-violent resistance began to waver. The Sharpeville massacre in 1960, where peaceful protesters were gunned down by police, served as a brutal turning point. 7 It was in the aftermath of this tragedy that Mandela, along with other ANC leaders, concluded that armed struggle was a necessary, albeit last resort. This led to the formation of Umkhonto Sizwe, Spear of the Nation, the armed wing of the ANC, with Mandela as one of its key figures. 8 This decision, often cited by his detractors, was not taken lightly. Mandela and his comrades understood the moral complexities and the potential for violence. However, They argued that all other avenues for peaceful change had been exhausted, and that the apartheid regime's inherent violence against its own citizens justified a strategic and targeted campaign of sabotage against key infrastructure. This shift in strategy, while controversial, reflected a pragmatic assessment of the political landscape and a commitment to achieving liberation by any means necessary after peaceful options were brutally closed off. The Rivonia Trial in 1964 stands as a powerful testament to Mandela's unwavering courage in the face of imminent danger. Facing charges of sabotage and conspiracy, which carried the death penalty, his defiant speech from the dock became a defining moment in the anti-apartheid struggle. His now famous words, "I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die," resonated across the globe, transforming him from a perceived terrorist in the eyes of the apartheid government to a symbol of resistance for millions. Mandela's subsequent 27 years of imprisonment, spent in harsh conditions on Robben Island and later in other prisons, are perhaps the most widely known aspect of his life. 11 Yet, the depth of his resilience during this period often remains understated. The psychological and emotional toll of prolonged isolation, the constant degradation, and the uncertainty of his fate would have broken many. However, Mandela, through sheer force of will and an unwavering belief in the justness of his cause, not only survived but thrived intellectually and spiritually. One lesser-known aspect of his imprisonment was his meticulous study of Afrikaans, the language of his oppressors. 12 He understood that to truly engage with and ultimately overcome the apartheid regime, he needed to understand their mindset and their language. This act of intellectual engagement, even in the face of profound personal hardship, demonstrated a remarkable level of strategic thinking and a commitment to finding common ground, even with his adversaries. Furthermore, Mandela became a unifying figure within the prison walls. He fostered a sense of solidarity among his fellow inmates, transforming Robben Island from a place of despair into a center of political education and resistance. 13 He organized discussions, mediated disputes, and ensured that the spirit of the liberation struggle remained alive, even in the most oppressive environment. His leadership within prison was a crucial factor in maintaining the morale of the anti-apartheid movement both inside and outside the prison walls. 14. The international campaign for Mandela's release, which gained significant momentum in the 1980s, is another crucial element of his story. While he remained imprisoned, he became a global icon, his name and image synonymous with the fight against injustice. 15 The Free Nelson Mandela movement, fueled by activists, artists, and political leaders worldwide, exerted immense pressure on the South African government. 16 This international solidarity played a significant role in creating the conditions that eventually led to his release. Upon his release in 1990, Mandela's actions defied the expectations of many. Instead of seeking retribution for the decades of suffering he and his people had endured, he embraced a path of reconciliation and forgiveness. His meetings with his former jailers, his willingness to engage in dialogue with the white minority government, and his unwavering commitment to building a multiracial democracy were acts of extraordinary courage and political wisdom. One particularly poignant example of his commitment to reconciliation was his embrace of F.W. de Klerk, the white South African president who initiated the reforms that led to Mandela's release and the dismantling of apartheid. Despite their history as adversaries, Mandela recognized de Klerk's pivotal role in the transition and worked closely with him to navigate the delicate process of establishing a new South Africa. Their joint Nobel Peace Prize in 1993 was a testament to their shared commitment to a peaceful future. Mandela's presidency, from 1994 to 1999, was marked by a focus on nation-building and reconciliation. 17 He championed the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, a unique mechanism that allowed victims of apartheid-era human rights abuses to share their stories in exchange for possible amnesty for perpetrators. 18 This process, while controversial, was instrumental in preventing widespread violence and fostering a sense of national unity. What many might overlook is the immense pressure Mandela faced during this period. He had to balance the expectations of a long-oppressed majority with the fears and anxieties of a privileged minority. He had to build a new nation from the ashes of a deeply divided society, navigating complex political, economic, and social challenges. His ability to maintain his moral compass and his unwavering commitment to inclusivity during this tumultuous period was a testament to his exceptional leadership. His decision to step down after a single term as president, a move unprecedented in many African nations, further solidified his legacy as a selfless leader who prioritized the well-being of his nation over personal power. He understood that for the new democracy to thrive, it needed to establish a strong tradition of peaceful transitions of power. Beyond his political achievements, Mandela possessed a remarkable ability to connect with people from all walks of life. His humility, his warmth, and his genuine interest in others transcended racial and political divides. 19 He had a knack for making everyone he encountered feel seen and heard, a quality that endeared him to both his supporters and his former adversaries. There were also personal sacrifices that often go unmentioned. His long years of imprisonment took a heavy toll on his family life. He was largely absent during the formative years of his children and endured the pain of separation from his wife, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, whose own role in the anti-apartheid struggle was significant, though later marked by controversy. These personal sacrifices, born in the pursuit of a greater cause, underscore the depth of his commitment. Mandela's legacy extends far beyond the borders of South Africa. 20 He became a global symbol of hope, resilience, and the transformative power of forgiveness. His life story continues to inspire movements for social justice and equality around the world. He demonstrated that even the most deeply entrenched systems of oppression can be dismantled through unwavering courage, strategic action, and a commitment to human dignity. However, it is also important to acknowledge the complexities and criticisms surrounding his legacy. Some argue that the compromises made during the transition to democracy did not go far enough in addressing the deep-seated economic inequalities that persist in South Africa today. Others point to the challenges that the country has faced in the years since his presidency. These critiques, while valid, should be seen within the context of the immense challenges Mandela and his generation faced in navigating a peaceful transition from a brutal apartheid regime. The path to a truly just and equitable society is often long and arduous, and Mandela's leadership laid a crucial foundation for that journey. In reflecting on Mandela's life, particularly his resilience during imprisonment, we find profound lessons for our own time. His ability to maintain his inner strength in the face of unimaginable adversity, his commitment to dialogue and understanding even with his oppressors, and his unwavering belief in the possibility of a better future offer a powerful blueprint for navigating the complexities and divisions of our contemporary world. His story reminds us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. It is the willingness to stand firm in our convictions, even when the odds seem insurmountable. It is the ability to find hope in the darkest of times and to emerge from adversity with a renewed sense of purpose. Mandela's embrace of sacrifice for a greater cause serves as a potent reminder of the transformative power of selfless leadership. His willingness to endure personal hardship for the liberation of his people inspired a nation and galvanized international support. It demonstrated that true leadership often requires putting the needs of others before one's own and that the pursuit of justice is a cause worth any personal cost. In a world grappling with its own forms of injustice, division, and uncertainty, the lessons from Nelson Mandela's life remain profoundly relevant. His unwavering commitment to justice, his remarkable resilience in the face of adversity, and his profound capacity for forgiveness offer a beacon of hope and a powerful reminder of the enduring strength of the human spirit. As we navigate our own turbulent times, his example calls us to find our own courage, to embrace the sacrifices necessary for a greater good, and to strive, with unwavering determination, for a world where justice and equality prevail. The moral of Mandela's extraordinary journey lies not just in the triumph over apartheid, but in the profound demonstration of our shared human capacity for resilience, for empathy, and for the unwavering pursuit of justice, even when the shadows of oppression loom longest. His life stands as an eternal testament to the fact that even the most formidable walls of injustice can crumble in the face of unwavering courage, profound moral conviction, and an unyielding belief in the inherent dignity of all humankind. It is a legacy that implores us to look within ourselves, to find that same wellspring of courage, and to continue the enduring fight for a world where the ideals of equality and justice are not just aspirations, but the lived reality for all.